Gentlemen, Mr. Dwayne Eddings. Mr. Eddings, are you ready?
Yes, I am, Coach B. Can you hear me okay?
I can hear you loud and clear, and good morning to you.
Good morning to you as well. As always, but you've been with me for now going on almost 10 years. We truly appreciate you and all that you do, all you bring to the table. Definitely looking forward to you getting your pot of gold and winning in this program. So thank you so much. So ladies and gentlemen, thank you all for jumping on. I know we announced the program Sunday night, and we have quite a few folks that are interested in getting started. And I'm gonna just, the thing I love about this program, and you're going to see for yourself, is that it's going to give you an opportunity to really help some people, and as you're helping them, earn a great deal of income for yourself, which is always good. So what I want to do before I introduce to you the speaker of the day, I just want to acknowledge a few folks that are somewhere at work right now. They'll be listening to the playback tonight. That's coming with us and moving forward is Miss Anjanette Touch out of Pennsylvania, Ms. Barbara Cotton out of New Jersey, Mr. Calvin Peoples out of Michigan, Charles Fuller from New York, Darlene Sinisi from New Jersey, Ms. Deborah Polite from New York, Mr. Derek Smalley from Pennsylvania, Mr. Edward Kimure from New Jersey, Ms. Helen Floyd from New Jersey, Mr. Henderson Prescott from New York, Ms. Roseanne Prescott from New York, Mr. Joshua Miller from New York, Ms. Michelle Atia Bay from New Jersey, Ms. Sharon Frazier from Illinois, and Mr. Joshua Davis from New Jersey. This is just a few of the many that'll be moving forward and learning about this program. And for the next 5 days, you guys are going to be taken from the very beginning to getting started, to understanding what we offer and what we're sharing. And then as we get you licensed, and those of you already licensed, but as we get you licensed, you will be able to be the ones to be the recipients of the leads that will be generated from our lead generation program that we announced on Sunday. So without further ado, let me just get everybody out. Without further ado, let me introduce to you the person who I have a tremendous amount of respect for and share with you how this whole thing came together. First of all, another lady by the name is Tina Samuels, who we were involved in another meet, and she had been after me to look at this program for some time. And you guys know me, I'm very, very busy, and I really didn't have time. But because of her persistence and the respect I had for her, I did decide to look at it. I said, listen, I'm going to be in Atlanta. I'll tell you what, why don't you come to my office out there and show me what you got. So she brought down this top executive in Atlanta, one of the top income earners in Atlanta and in the company, to share with me this product. So when they came to the office, I basically told the young lady she had 10 minutes to give me the bullet points. And I'll tell you something. So the lady definitely, Ms. Powell, she delivered a powerful message in 10 minutes. And that 10 minutes actually turned out to be an hour because I kept her going. I kept asking questions. And I'll tell you, I ended up purchasing the product because I thought it was a great product. And then most of you know my circumstance with the lawsuit I was involved with. One thing that brought it full circle for me, a few months later, my attorney told me as I was going through this lawsuit that I need to start liquidating anything I have in personal assets because of the suit. And as we started going through my assets, he asked me about the plan I had. He said, well, that plan you can keep because that plan can't be affected by any lawsuit, any bankruptcy, any IRS. I said, really? That piqued my interest. And then the second piece that came about, was invited by another friend of mine to go to see something in New York on their behalf. They was looking at getting involved with the savings program that they thought it would be very helpful for HLC. They liked it for themselves, and they wanted me to see it firsthand. So I went to New York with them, and I traveled to see the program. And 10 minutes after the program got started, I realized it was the same exact program that Miss Tina Williams and Miss Anithia Powell had shared with me a few months earlier, but I had never seen the whole presentation. So after watching and listening to the whole presentation and seeing the income potential, it really was a win-win, because not only was the product good, it carried no monthly expense, and it fit perfectly into our lead generation program. So at that time, we were just launching our travel program, and I didn't want to conflict it because I still love to travel, and I think we all need to travel. I love the travel program, and I wanted to make sure that that got off the official launch because we were just kicking off. So what I did, I said, let me investigate it privately. I put a few key people in place that was already licensed, and we started investigating to make sure that everything that they said was true. And sure enough, lo and behold, the product proved out to be what it said to be. The training proved out to be what it said to be. I flew out to Atlanta to go see firsthand how they did their opportunity presentation, how they had the system in place. And I got to tell you guys, I was truly, truly impressed with the professionalism, with the way they handle things, and the system that they have to move a novice, a person who has no knowledge whatsoever in the financial service arena, how to take them from zero to hero. So with that being said, I added it to our program. We launched it on Sunday night. And those of you, you are the first Transformers, and you guys know me. Before the month is out, we'll be a couple of hundred in. But I'm going to tell you something. We want to make sure that you guys are licensed, and you will be the initial ones to become the recipients of receiving the leads that will be generated from the lead generation program. So with that being said, guys, let me turn it over to Miss Anithia Powell, one of the top income earners in Atlanta, Georgia, and one of the top income earners in the entire company of WFG. So Ms. Powell, I humbly submit, thank you so much for your time, and I turn the call over to you.
Wow, well, thank you so much. Dwayne, can you hear me okay?
I hear you loud and clear.
Okay, great. I want to thank you so much for that nice introduction. I do appreciate it, and I really appreciate your partnership with us here, because I can see you doing some magnificent things to already be introduced and to be talking on our national call, and you just got started. It is a big plus in itself already, and they just haven't seen anything yet. So what I plan to do right now is I plan to give you guys a very broad overview, or a very quick overview of what this business really is. And guys, even though you may not have any experience, or maybe some of the people on the call have some experience, whatever your level of knowledge base is with this company, whether it's 0 to 100, just know that there is a system that is already in place, and all you have to do is learn the system. Okay, you know how they say, if Dwayne have already provided a system manual for you guys inside of Dropbox. And I implore you to all make sure that you read that system manual from beginning to end, because there's only 6 steps to our system. The first step being prospecting, and the first step is prospecting. The second step is actually approach and contact. Now that you have a name and number, you know who to call, you know who to contact. The second step is approach and contact. Okay, how are you going to approach them? How are you going to contact this person? We have scripts for that. Also, the third thing is the presentation, which is what I want to get into with you right now, is this presentation. The fourth step is, of course, the follow-up, and then the fast start, and then duplication. Those are the only 6 steps to this entire system. And people who have followed those very 6 things that I've just named for you have made millions of dollars following those 6 steps. And like I said, it's only 6. So I want to make sure that you guys read that system manual. That's going to do a lot for you. And then I want you to come back to me with questions once you've read that. But what I want to do right now is to go over that step number 3, which is the presentation. Guys, when people get in front of our story, which I'm going to go through this thing very quickly for you so that you can get an idea and so that you can see why 95% of the population, when they get in front of our stories, they're going to want to do one of 2 things. They're going to either want to become a client of yours, or they're going to want to come into business. Or there is a third thing, or they'll want to do both. And we'll take all 3 of the above. So when I get started with this presentation, I give a little bit of my background, why I am here. And just to give you a little bit of my background, prior to coming to WFG, I was a product analyst. I was the person that was responsible for making your auto insurance rates, okay? And long story short, I made millions of dollars for the company. The way that they repaid me is they laid me and the entire division off. You know, an entire department, we got laid off. So I decided to never put that kind of faith in someone else's hand again, you know, because whoever owns your paycheck pretty much owns you, because they tell you what time to come in, what time to leave, when you can go on vacation, if you can go on a vacation, you know, things of that nature. So what I decided to do is say, you know what, let me find out where the baby boomers are. That's where I need to go, because I know that that's where the money is. And what I did was I started helping people with their Medicare. And when I started helping people with their Medicare, I realized that the majority of people, regardless to what their educational level is, regardless to what their occupation is, it doesn't even matter about your ethnicity. The majority of the population are going to retire broke. And when I was introduced to this company, I realized that most people are going down the same road. 401ks, you know, pension plans, all of these programs where they're going to have to pay taxes on this money when they pull it out. And so when I was introduced to this company, I said, this is the missing piece. This is what I need to put in front of people. And within the first 90 days of being with this company, my husband and I made it to a senior marketing director, which would take people years to make. And then also within that first year, we made over $100,000 on our way to 250. We'll be at $500,000 easy within the next 2 years, and then on our way to $1 million, and then on from there. So I'm excited about what this company can do. So will you transform your tomorrow? Let's get right into it. I want to give you a very quick overview of why I'm excited and why people need what it is that we have here with WFG. It says here, will you transform your tomorrow? Whenever you transform something, it will never go back to being the same. You can never go back to being the same once you have transformed your future, right? Or for your tomorrow. So with that being said, Dwayne, can you see my screen here? I want to make sure that everyone can see my screen.
Yes, coming in clear. We see everything perfect.
Perfect. Okay. Now, it says here, our mission is to help people from all walks of life to build a better future. Okay. Now, while I'm going through this presentation, I want you to think about this. Do you know someone who can benefit from this message? Can this information help you, your family, and friends financially? And number 3, are you intrigued by this business? I'm going over this, guys, because I want you to see yourself being able to give this presentation, because if you learn this presentation is worth millions of dollars, okay? So just keep that in mind. And I'm gonna go over it pretty quickly here. First of all, how many people agree that it is time for a change? Right now, times are very uncertain. People are worried about their future. You know, for me, I thought that I had it made because, you know, I had my master's degree. I was working for, a company where I was making over 6 figures. However, it took me almost 20 years to get to that 6 figure. And keep in mind that it took me only 1 year with this company to get to my 6 figure. So I should have been with this company those 20 years that I was working in corporate. But, here consumers are hurting and are more confused than ever. There's higher debt. Did you know that right now, student loan debt have surpassed consumer debt for the first time? Okay, right now people are have poor savings. Most people are not even saving money right now, as well as job insecurity. All of these things can create a very stressful situation. The current financial services industry, as we know it today, may not be able to provide those answers. So this may not be you, but guess what? It may be someone you know. But do you know people who are having problems paying their bills? I do, because I get phone calls asking for money. You know, I'm like, wait a minute, let me show you this opportunity so that you can go and do the same thing that I'm doing. Okay. Are you concerned about your job, your career? You know, most people are not getting paid what they're worth. When I was in corporate, I was still not getting paid what I was worth. Okay. Are your children growing up and your parents growing older faster than you can provide for them? We call that a sandwich family. And when I was helping those people with Medicare, this is what I found. I found that a lot of these seniors went back to live with their sons and their daughters. Okay, but then what if the son and daughter have children that are out there who are in college? Now they can't get a job in their field because they've graduated from college. They can't get a job in their field. And now they need to come back home. So who do you let come back home? Your parents who are aging, or your children who just graduated from college and can't make it out there? You have to let them both come back, right? So we call that a sandwich family. Do you feel your financial trap is affecting your family? We get up and we go to work. Is life passing you by? We get up and go to work Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday. We do that Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, over and over and over again. And then you look back and you say, okay, I'm 20, 30, 40, 50, 60 years old. And you wonder, what happened to my life? Everybody is traveling down the same path, doing the same thing. When I was coming to the office this morning, I was just looking at all the cars going to work. Okay. Thank God that that company laid me off. Thank God that they got rid of me, because now I control my destiny. You know, I get to decide, okay, when I work, when I don't work, okay, which I'm working all the time. However, I'm working right now all the time, but I'm working for myself. Okay. Do you still have hope for a brighter day? Now, the greatest struggle right now is not Holyfield or whoever is in the boxing arena right now. I think Holyfield is retired. However, whoever the new and coming fighters, it's not a struggle with them. It's a struggle with family versus finance. That's the biggest struggle right now. Many families today are struggling just to make ends meet. And as a result, they're 1 or 2 paychecks from being put out on the street. They're drowning in debt. They can't afford to have one spouse to stay home with the children. They argue over finances. They lead quiet lives of desperation. Okay. Now, when I look at this family over here to the right, everybody looks happy. Everybody's smiling. This is what I call a Facebook profile. Everybody's putting out all this good information about themselves. But if I were to close the door and go behind closed door with this family and look into their financial situation, I will guarantee you it will not be anything to smile about. Okay, because the majority of the population is doing the same thing. They have no financial knowledge. So as you can see, these first 4 slides here gives the pain of this presentation. It shows people, pretty much everybody who looks at this presentation will see something in here that identifies with them, especially that 1 or 2 paychecks from being put out on the street. That's the majority of the population. Now, who are we? We go into who we are. Aegon is a $750 billion conglomerate. Okay, and while Aegon owned companies all over the globe, here in the United States, America. Okay, WFG is the marketing arm. So WFG itself owns no products. Transamerica is the brand name that WFG is able to operate under. And Transamerica have been around since 1908. And it's that tall, pointy building that you see in San Francisco. And WFG is headquartered right here in Atlanta, in Johns Creek. So we're able to go to the home office, meet the people who help get our checks together. And it's a beautiful facility. So I implore you, whenever you come to Atlanta, let's make sure that we get you into the home office so that you can maybe go around and take a tour of the home office. Now, we also believe in strength and selection. While there's strength with the company, 750 billion strong, there's also strength and selection. What do I mean by that? We are able to have 120 different companies in our arsenal. So the reason that's important is because, first of all, if I'm sitting around and I have 10 different families, guess what? All 10 of those families may have a totally different financial need. Well, if I was a State Farm office, guess what? If you walked into State Farm, if all 10 of those families walked into State Farm is going to only show them what State Farm has. But what if they needed something that Nationwide provided? What if they needed something that Prudential have? State Farm cannot show them or share with them what Prudential have, nor Nationwide, or anybody else for that matter. So the reason that's specific, the reason that makes so much sense to be able to have all of these companies at your arsenal is because guess what? All 10 of these families have something different. If I go behind someone with State Farm, if I go behind someone, as an example, with Primerica, I am able to replace whatever it is they have because there is going to be a company that have something that's better than what they have. And when I have access to 120 of the top companies, now Nationwide is not a Fortune 500 company. Nationwide is a Fortune 100 company. So it's among the top 100 companies in our entire country, okay? So how do you beat that? So having access to all of these companies, and did you know that we offer more products to for Nationwide, from Nationwide than Nationwide itself? WFG is a company not to be played with. I mean, we have a huge marketing arm. So, and these are some of the things that we specialize in: fixed annuities, life insurance, index, universal. But don't let that stuff overwhelm you, because guess what? The majority of the people need one of two products. And I'm going to share that with you, which is going to be our term LB, okay, which gives living benefits. Most life insurance policies are the old type where you have to pass away before your beneficiary or before your family is transferred any wealth. But guess what? What if you have a stroke, heart attack, you're diagnosed with cancer, and you need money now? Okay, forget about dying. You know, most of the time we're healthy, we get sick, then we die. Hey, let's talk about that middle part while I'm sick. If I suffer from a stroke and I still live, and I have a $500,000 life insurance policy, I would prefer to be able to access that money in that life insurance policy now while I'm living, as opposed to me just waiting until I die and transferring that wealth that way. Can you imagine breast cancer survivors, people who've gone through chemotherapy, radiation, who needed money? I know people who actually went through that, and they said that they were counting pennies. They wish they would have known about something like this. So guys, the product sells itself, and you only have to learn two, okay? You learn that term LB, you learn that global index universal life, which is the one that Dwayne was talking about, that wealthy people have. Because the money, as it grows inside of that account, guess what? You pull it out tax-free. And if you have millions of dollars sitting in that account, it's not looked at as an asset, and they cannot touch it, okay? If you get a divorce, unlike the 401k where you're going to have to give half of that to your spouse or your ex-spouse, guess what? In this thing, because it's protected and it looks like life insurance, people get it. Yeah, it is life insurance, but guess what? It's so much more than that. You can have millions of dollars in that account, and no one can touch it. Our mission and our vision, we believe in leaving no family left behind who don't want to get left behind, because you can take the horse to the water, but you always cannot make him drink, right? So let's look at this. This is many families in middle America. These people have, they earn $100,000 or less. They have a job. And now my acronym for job is a jail operating as a business, or just over broke. I've never seen anybody working for someone else and retired wealthy. So if wealth is what you want, working for someone else is not the way to get there, okay? Having a 401k plan, these people do in middle America, that they don't really even understand how it works. Most of these people in middle America, they have term life insurance because it's cheap. They rent homes. I know generations after generations after generation of people who've never owned homes. They rent. They put money in the bank because they don't know where else to put it. They have credit card debt, minimal tax advantages, no advisor, no plan. And again, this represents the majority of the population. Now, if I can show family A how to come over here and look like family B, which is many families in wealthy America, do you think family A is going to be mad at me for showing them how to acquire some wealth? I don't think so. I haven't had one complaint yet. Now, many families in family B look like this. They earn $250,000 or more. I like to say it like this: $250,000 or more. Okay, same thing, right? But it just sounds better. Business owners, these people own permanent life insurance. That's that GIUL that I was telling you about, that global index universal life. Homeowners, these people are homeowners. You hear a lot of ownership on this right side. These families have diversified portfolio. They're debt-free, maximize tax advantage. But look at this right here. They have a financial professional. It's not that these people are any better than people over here in family A. We're all made out of the same stuff, right? However, family B have a financial professional, someone who can give them some information that they may not know about. Family A think that they have to have a lot of money in order to have one of those, and they do not. Okay, and again, this represents a small percentage of the population. And guys, most people don't plan to fail. They just fail to have a plan. And what we are able to do for them, what you will be able to do for a family, is to give them a step-by-step guideline or game plan as to what to do financially. Because in school, they don't teach us money in school. They teach us math. Okay, so let's look at this really quickly. The 4 financial cornerstones. All 4 of these things: protection, growth, safety, and tax advantage. Wealthy people have all 4 of these going for them at the same time. Okay, but most people in middle America, they only have 1, maybe 2 of these things going for them. What if I can show you how to get all 4 of them without you having to pick 2? Because whenever I get people to pick 1 or 2 of these, they'll try and pick the best of the 2. They'll say, hey, I'll take growth and tax advantage. And then I'll say, well, what about protection? It's not okay for you to protect your money. What about safety? It's not okay for your money to be safe. So it doesn't matter which 2 you pick. You're always going to be leaving something else out. So we show middle American how to have the same thing that the top 5 or the wealthy class have, which is all 4 of these. So let's take a real quick dive into it. When we talk about proper protection, well, first of all, before I even go into that, the 401k only qualifies for 1 out of the 4, not even 2 out of 2. A 401k doesn't have protection. It does have growth. The money can grow in a 401k, but it doesn't have safety. Look at what happened in 2008 when people's 401ks became a 201k, right? They lost almost half, if not half of their money. And then it doesn't have tax advantage. It's tax deferred, but tax advantage means that you're not paying any taxes on it. So the main way that most people are saving for their retirement, which is in a 401k or a pension plan, it's in that same column. When they get ready to pull money out, guess what? Why pay almost half of it to taxes when you get ready to need it? And the reason why wealthy people don't put their money in 401ks is because they have no idea what the tax rate will be in the future. So that's not a good deal. It's almost like I'm saying, hey, Dwayne, let's you and I go into business for each other. You put down all the money and I just sit on the side and cheer you on. And then when it's time to sell the business, I get 70% of the proceed and you only get 30. That's not fair. Well, that's what people are doing every day when they contribute and put money inside of a 401k. And then when they get ready to pull that money out, they're going to put most of it is going to have to go towards the government in the form of taxes. Why do that? So when we talk about protection, we're talking about these things: disability protection, long-term care protection, retirement protection, and life insurance. Did you know when we mention life insurance, most people think about death. Life insurance is the number 1, the most misunderstood financial concept there is. If you don't have proper protection in place, it doesn't make sense for you to start trying to build wealth without having your foundation in place first. Life insurance can help with all of these things. It can create living benefits like I told you about with if you have a stroke, heart attack, cancer, ALS, and there's a few other critical illnesses as well. And also, it can supplement your retirement income. I'm going to show you that real quickly. Cover educational expenses for your children. It can do all of these things. And there's mainly 2 types, term or permanent, okay? And remember, family A had the term, family B had that permanent. Me, myself, I have a combination of both, because when I outlive my term, which I plan to outlive it, I pray that I do. When I outlive my term, guess what? I have my permanent already set in place, and now I'm not in the market 75 years old looking for coverage at that particular age, where it's going to be extremely expensive. Okay, so compound interest. How many people have heard of the rule of 72? When I put this presentation in front of the majority or the masses, I get every once in a while, I get 1 or 2 hands to go up and say, yes, I've heard of it. But then if I ask, hey, can you explain it to me? No, you go ahead. All right, most people don't understand it, have never heard of it. The rule of 72 is nothing new. It's not specific for just our company. It's industry wide. Okay, it's not just specific to our company. It is nationwide. Okay, it's industry wide. And Albert Einstein is the one that came up with it. It simply says this: you take the number 72, divide into it your rate of return. It's going to tell you how many years for your money not to only grow, but to double. How many people are talking about money doubling these days? No one. So let's take a look at this. If you put your money in a CD, let's because most people put their money in the bank. Let's just say you have a 1% CD. 72 divided by 1, that's 72 years. That means it's going to take 72 years for your money to double. I don't know about you, but if you add 72 years to my life, I'm no longer here. So let's look at a person who's 29 with $10,000, just to bring it on home. That means if they didn't put any other money with that $10,000, it would take 72 years or until they were 101 for that 10,000 to double to 20. Too long. What if I can show you how to get 4%? Now your money is doubling every 18 years because 72 divided by 4 is 18. Now you got an extra double. So now at age 65, you got 40,000, but is that enough to retire on? No. What about 6%? Now your money's doubling every 12 years. Now you got an extra double at 65. Now you have 80,000. What if I can show you how to get 10%? Now your money is doubling every 7.2 years. Now let's look at it. Now at 65, you have 320,000. 7 more years, you're 72. Now that 320 just doubled to 640. What if I told you we show families how to get up to 15% in interest? Wouldn't you like to know more about that? I have never had anyone sit in front of this presentation and say, no, I don't want to know where that is. Yeah, you want to know. And guess what? We show them exactly what that is about. Now, just like you have your money working hard for you here at 10% or more, guess what? Guess who's getting 29.99% in interest? Credit cards. So what banks do is banks can guarantee you 1% because they want to guarantee you that you'll be broke by using them. Okay. So when people say, well, the banks are FDIC insured. Yeah, they're guaranteed. You're guaranteed to be broke fooling around with the banks. Now, I'm not saying that banks are bad in terms of having a put and stay account. I have a checking account. Okay. And I have money that I put into a little account for my grandson so that when he's out of town with his mom, I can transfer money to his little ATM so that he can have money in Florida. But as far as saving money, no. I use the bank for what I need to use the bank for. And guys, do not get the dumb lollipop at the bank. Have you ever looked at the little sucker that they have at the bank and you pull it out and it has literally dum on it? So do not, I don't even give it to my grandkids. So if looking at this 10%, if we're paying money back like this at rates like this because of credit cards and because of loans that banks loan us back our money once we went and deposited, if they're loaning it to us at rates of 29%, 72 divided by 30 or 29.99, you're paying money back at rates of every 2.5 years, but you're saving it at a rate of 72 every 72 years. It's no wonder most people will not make it in the money game. If you understand this one chart right here, this chart right here can make you millions. Okay. Now, options for your money. Let's take a look at it. It's basically 3 different ways money grows in fixed accounts. It grows in a variable account. The fixed account is just like I showed you on the previous screen at the 1 or 2%, that the banks can give you. Variable is like the stock market. Okay. It's up and down. When you get a certain age, you may not need to have your money very volatile like that. But what do you know about an indexed account? Most people have never even heard of it. When you put this in front of people, they're going to say, what's that? This is how an indexed account works. It mimics the market right here. As you can see, it looks just like the variable. However, it's grayed out because your money is not actually in the stock market, okay? So what happens is, as the market goes up, the index goes up. When the market goes down, the index also go down. But the beauty of it is this. When the market goes up, your money gets a lock if it's in an index account. When the market goes down into the negative, your money doesn't participate because it sits right there in a lock. When the market, it waits there until the market goes back up. The market goes up, your money gets a lock. When the market goes down, your money sits there. The market goes up, you participate. So the way that an index account works is you get the highs of the market, but you do not participate in the losses. It's almost like betting on a racehorse after the horses have come in. You know which one to bet on after you've seen all of them come in, right? So in this index account, and what makes it global for our company is that we're involved with 3 different indices: the S&P 500, which is the top 500 companies in the U.S. We're also with the Euro Stocks, STOXX, not stocks, STOCKS. We're talking about Euro Stocks, which is the top 50 companies in Europe, and also the Hang Seng, which is the top 40 companies in China. So as these particular companies do well, guess what? You get an average based on how well all of those companies have done in a portfolio. So if all of these companies average have done 26%, your account will be credited with 15, because we show you how to get up to 15%, and there's a trade-off for that. You know, you say, well, wait a minute, I want that 26%. Well, I would rather for the company to get anything over my 15% in interest, because look at what happens when the market does a negative. If the market goes into the negative, your money stops at 0.75. That's when 0 is your hero. Because if everybody else's money is in the negatives and yours is stopped right here at 0.75, then guess what? You can never lose money in this index account. Okay, and that's the beauty of this whole thing. As a matter of fact, Warren Buffett, who is a billionaire investor, and LeBron James, who is the millionaire basketball player, LeBron James asked Mr. Buffett, he said, Mr. Buffett, what can I do with my millions so that they can become billions like yours? Warren Buffett told him, he said, son, put your money in index account. You can never lose money. Okay, so how would you like for your money to grow? Once I share the 3 different ways that the 3 different options for your money, I have never had anyone say, oh no, let me have that small fixed account over there to the left. Okay, now if a person wants fixed accounts, guess what? Out of 120 companies we represent, we'll find a fixed account for them if that's what they want. Same thing with variable. You know, we have all of these financial solutions if that's what a person is interested in, but we specialize in index because guess what? That's where the majority of people need to be when it comes to them saving their money. Now let's look at risk, because it hurts more than you think. If I gave you $100 and you lost 50%, you only have $50. But if I tell you next year the market is going to go back up 50%, how much do you have? Most people would say, oh, I'll be back at my $100. And it's absolutely not true. The second year, if you start off with the $50, 50% of 50 is 25. So you actually get back to $75. So a 50% gain only gets you back at 75. If you want to get back to $100, it requires to fully recover a 50% loss is 100% gain. So we teach people how to never put their money in a position to lose it in the first place, and that's through index. Now, let's look at taxes. Most of the time, if I tell people, hey, do you want to pay taxes now, later, or never? They'll say, I never want to pay taxes, but when it comes down to it, they have their money in these other 2 options. 401k is the main way that most people are saving their money for retirement. And guess what? That 7702 or that GIUL that I talked about, that's in column number 3. We'll go into more of this later, okay? But the financial needs analysis is the way that we go through and find out where a person is financially. We find out where they are financially, and this financial needs analysis let us know exactly where they telling us that they want to go. And we identify 6 things. We identify the cash flow, emergency fund, debt management. Most people don't even have an emergency fund, which is the reason why they're in debt in the first place. Imagine us sitting down with a family and showing them how to do this stuff step by step. How valuable is that? Whenever you learn this stuff, guys, I'm telling you, your marketability goes through the roof because you're learning something that the majority of the population don't know. Proper protection. We show families how to protect against the loss of their income. What do I mean by the protecting against the loss of their income? If you're making $100,000, you got a 2-year-old kid at home, and you don't come home tomorrow and you don't have your income protected, meaning that, let's just say you need $1 million in protection. That will help to make sure that that 2-year-old can get to where he's 20, maybe 25 years old before he runs out of money, because guess what? Mommy or daddy made sure that their income was protected to make sure that that 2-year-old make it till he's 20 years old without him having to move out of the family home. Okay, so protect against the loss of income. Life insurance does that. Okay, protect against family asset, building wealth and preserving wealth. Prince did a great job at building wealth with a $300 million estate, but he did not do a good job at preserving it. It's left to the attorneys and the judges to decide what happens to his estate. We take care of all of that. Other companies like Charles Schwab, they'll charge anywhere from $500 to $1,500 to do a needs analysis. Our company does this complimentary for families because our focus is middle America. We don't charge for that. Okay, so these are the 6 steps to financial independence, and we do that very well. Then we go into the timing of is everything. The baby boomers between 1946 and 64, guess what? They were, all these babies being born, it makes sense to go into the baby food industry. Millionaires was made in each one of these industries as the baby boomers went through each one of these industries. Look at the last step for baby boomers is retirement. This industry right now, the reason why you're on this call is because this industry, the retirement industry right now, or the segment that the baby boomers are at, there is $63 trillion that's getting ready to exchange hands over the next 20 years. Now, millionaires was made through all these other booms. That's why the baby boomers are called the baby boomer generation, because it's so many of them. As a matter of fact, every 7 seconds in our country, someone is turning 65. Guess what? They need help with their retirement money. They don't know, most of them don't know that there's products out here that can give them a guarantee for the rest of their lives. Most of these boomers didn't save enough money, and a lot of them are going to outlive their money. People are living to be 100 plus now because of modern medicine. So it says right here, if you would like a chance to be wealthy in your lifetime, wouldn't it make sense to be in the right place at the right time? And coming behind these 78 million baby boomers is 112 million people born between 65 and 94. There's a lot of millennials out here that are making really good money, and they're blowing really good money. Imagine if they knew about our products and services, how much more wealthier they could be. Nearly half of all existing financial advisors, they're getting ready to retire right now. That's going to leave a shortfall of 200,000 people. That's why you're looking at this thing. When people realize how much money in this industry is to be made, so many people are going to be coming in left and right. All of that leaves a very unique business platform, and we'll go over all of this later, but no financial services experience is necessary. Are you kidding me? And I'm going to just jump all the way down to the bottom on the left-hand side where we talk about business expansion. We're in all 50 states, Canada, and Puerto Rico. We get paid twice a week here, every Tuesday and Friday. If you're not allergic to money, this is a great place to be, okay? Every Tuesday and Friday, we get paid. I love it, and it's direct deposit. So get your license, get your direct deposit set up, and get ready to make money, because people have never heard of these things. These solutions that we have for family is incredible. The WFG business system, just like if you purchased a McDonald's, it has a system. We have a system here. Let the system run your business. And I'm going to teach you guys what that system is. Equal opportunity for all. And I'm just jumping around here a little bit. Technology and business tool. The need has never been greater. I am so convinced that more than ever, people need WFG. Okay. Now let's talk about the compensation real quick. There's 22 different ways we get paid here, but we're going to talk briefly about only 5. A person may come here and say, hey, look, I want to make some personal income. As an associate, which is a very low level in our company, just helping one family a week or 4 in a month make more than some people make on their full-time jobs. That's $51,000. Okay. A senior marketing director like myself, helping those same 4 families make right there almost $100,000 a year. That's just helping one family a week. That's 4 a month. Now, what if you wanted agency income, like a real estate agency? Who makes the most money, the broker or the agent? This is that broker portion that we're going to talk about right now, because now you're talking about override. Just managing 5 people on your team, and you show 5 people on your team how to help 4 clients a month or 1 a week, you're almost, I mean, you're almost at $250,000. I mean, it's 200,000, but you're in the 200,000 range. Okay. Just having 5 people and showing each one of those 5 how to help one a month. One a week. All right. That's some really good money. Now, expansion income. Remember I said we were in all 50 states, Canada and Puerto Rico. Is no limit to where you can build your business. There are people in this company that have 600, 700, 800 different offices all throughout the United States. Eric Olson, he's 35 years old. He made $500,000 last month, not last year, last month. To be able to be in the presence of a company that gives me the opportunity to be able to make that kind of money, you best believe I'm going after it. And I'm going after it fast and hard. And the biggest regret most of the leaders in this company have had, because I talk to them and I make sure that they know who I am, and I'll ask each one of them this question. I said, what is your biggest regret in this business? They said that I didn't go and build it fast enough. I didn't have the confidence initially to do what needed to be done. And I thought that it was difficult when it really is not. And I didn't build fast enough because of my confidence. So guys, don't let your confidence get in the way of your paycheck. This stuff is not hard. All we have to do is get this message in front of people, because our business is not about products, because the products will sell themselves. Our business here is about seminars. Whoever is the best at getting a group of people in front of this presentation and you learning this presentation will make the most money, point blank, period. People need what we're showing them. So we're in all 50 states, bonus income. The company throws money at us just for hitting certain numbers. You know, there's an $8,000 bonus that the company gives just for hitting certain numbers 3 months in a row. As a senior marketing director, you know, just for hitting certain numbers each month, they give us, I mean, it's just crazy, you know, but I like it. I love it. Recurring income. This is why so many real estate agents are with us. The client you help today, and that client continue to be a client for yours for 5, 10, 15 years, guess what? You're getting paid from that client every month for all of those years. Imagine the first year you have 100 clients. The second year you have another 100 clients. So that's a total of 200. The third year you have another 100 clients. That's 300. Imagine getting paid off of all 300 of those clients. And as you continue to put clients on year after year, you're getting paid from the new people you meet and from the old people that you've already served. Man, this is the best business ever. You hear me? All right, SMD, these are some other incomes with our company. And they have got to update the charts, because guess what? They told us, they said, you know what, these charts are now outdated. These numbers are actually higher, but guess what? They're high enough for me to still show. My next promotion will be EMD. And look at that. It'll be between 201 and 1.3. I'll take that all day long, okay? So our recognition, you know, again, you know, the same questions that I asked before. Who do you know who can benefit from this message? You know, could this information help you, your family financially? Are you intrigued by this business? Hey, you may say, look, I just want to become a client. So get your complimentary financial needs analysis done. This is what we're telling the audience. Or you may say, hey, look, I want to come into business part-time. The #1 guy with our company, Schwan Nguyen, okay? This man makes over $17 million a year. He came to this company and he was intrigued by this company because he was able to start part-time as a social worker. Okay, he came here from Vietnam. He said, oh, if I can do it part-time, I'm in. So he did it part-time, and when his part-time income exceeded what he was making as a social worker, he came in here full-time and he never looked back, right? Or you may do like I did. I came here full-time and I never looked back, okay? So it says here, if someone offers you an amazing opportunity and you're not sure you can do it, say yes and learn how to do it later. So this is the presentation that we give to people. And I'm going to come out of here really quickly because I want to show you something else. Guys, if you can master that presentation, you're ready to make millions of dollars. I'm telling you. These are the 40 benefits, and it's also inside of that Dropbox that Dwayne have set up for you guys. And as you can see, there are 40 benefits to this IUL, okay, which is IRC code 7702 that most middle Americans have never heard about. So when Dwayne said that, you know, his attorney told him that, hey, they can't touch this, guess what? O.J. Simpson have several of these. So yes, people might think he's down and out, but if you have one of these, the majority of time you are completely safe from people getting your millions of dollars that is inside of this account. So that is inside of your toolbox. This is the term LB right here on one page. So our learning our products is not difficult. Of course, we have a brochure, but I just want to break it down to you on one page. So now we're talking about the products, okay? The products is this: critical illness. If you have a heart attack, stroke, cancer, ALS, major organ transplant, end-stage renal failure, blindness from diabetic retinopathy, paralysis of 2 or more limbs, guess what? You get up to 90% of the policy value. All you have to do, guys, is learn this one sheet. Start introducing and talking to people about it. Ask them, say, hey, have you gotten an upgrade on your life insurance policy? Or do you still have the old kind that your grandfather had where you have to die in order to access the benefits? And they're going to be like, what are you talking about? Say, well, you know, do you have the new kind or the old kind? And if they say they have the old kind, give them an upgrade. They upgrade their cell phone, right? Why not upgrade your life insurance? You know, then chronic illness. If they can't do 2 of the 6 activities of daily living, like bathing, dressing, toileting, continence, okay, that's holding it in, eating, and then transferring, being able to transfer from like a sofa to a chair. If they can't do 2 of 6 of those things for a total of 90 days, guess what? That's a chronic illness, and now they can access up to 24% of the policy value annually. So, so if they have a $100,000 policy, $24,000 a year until it's extinguished, right? So terminal illness. Of course, if they have a terminal illness where they have 12 months or less to live, they can get 100% of the policy value. They may want to take a trip or do something major before they pass away. Then the actual death benefit. Okay, of course they would get 100% of that. Once they pass away, the beneficiary will actually get that one. That's the last one that I want to use. I mean, I prefer to use mine if I have to anytime prior to that. And then we also have an option for people, a disability rider on there. So that's the term. That's the term LB. And just to let you know, let's see here if I can get to it. Okay, that's the system manual that Dwayne has inside of the Dropbox for you guys. If you really want to learn this business, you will learn and read this entire booklet. Okay, it's not, but let's see how many pages is it. I'm sorry if that's bothering anybody's eyes real quickly, but just want to get to the end real quick. It's only about 30 some odd pages in here. Okay, well maybe 40. Ooh, well, maybe more than that. Hold on. There we go. Okay, so it's 54 pages. Okay, I go back and I look at this still to this day. I look at this, and I've only been with this company for 25 months, but I still go back and look at it. You see, step number 6 is talking about duplication. That's the last step in this system. Then I want to share this with you. This is what the actual IUL looks like. And guys, I know we have about 4 minutes, and I'm going to make it real quick. This is what an IUL looks like when we call it the $1 million baby, a female age 0, and the parents putting in $154 a month, $500,000 on a baby that's age 0. This is what wealthy people are doing, guys. That baby doesn't bit more need $500,000 than the man in the moon, right? But they're not doing it for the benefit of the face amount. They're doing it for the benefit of what this policy can do for this child. So at age 0, $154 a month. Let's take a look at it. The premium outlay, 154 times 12 is $1,848. And the second column is going to show the cumulative premium. The third column is going to show the policy value, the cash surrender, and then the death benefit. Now, this thing is not meant to be a short-term investment, because as you can see, look at the cash surrender. You see all those zeros? That means if you put in the $1,848 every month, or I'm sorry, every year, and you want to surrender the policy, you get 0. So, but it's not meant to be short-term. But if the baby dies, or if this person dies, they will get the death benefit. But let's fast forward to age 65. Let's just assume that this person chose not to pull any money out prior to, which, by the way, once this person is any age, if let's just say at 25, the person decided, hey, I want to pull out some money to buy a house. Guess what? The policy value is $70,000. As long as they leave 10% in that policy is good to go, and they can pull that money out to them tax-free. This is what wealthy people have been doing for decades, okay? So they can pull that money out, go pay down on a house, and never have to worry about paying that money back here ever again. But I'm going to fast forward to age 65. Look at this. In that first column where you see that 1848 to age 64. Now, at age 65, this person is telling the company, hey, I'm not sending you another penny. I want you to start sending me $80,000 a year to supplement my retirement. If you look all the way over to the left, to the right, this person have $1.2 million in their account. Look at their death benefit. It went up to $1.7 million. Okay, so that first column, they're pulling out $80,000. They only put into it $118,000. So in 2 years, they will have pulled out $160,000, and they only put in $118. But look at all the years that they're getting the $80,000 back, and look at what's happening to their policy value, their surrender value. Okay, it's still huge. All right, so look at this thing. I'm telling you, the money here with this company is phenomenal. I can't say enough about our products. Our product sells themselves. So if you specialize in getting groups or doing seminars, if you can get a group of people congregated, like today when we have our BPM at the office, I've already had sent out flyers for people on the team to get teachers here, because guess what? Teachers, you know, they need something to do over the summer. Why not make a couple $1,000s before you go back to school? Okay, so we're going to be teaching teachers over the summer how to make about $10,000 a month doing what we do right here. So Dwayne, hopefully I went over everything that I said that I would. Or one last thing, how to code someone to your business, ama.mywfg.com. You get your code number, you introduce someone to this business, and you get them connected to your code number. That's how you expand your business. ama.mywfg.com. Let them get coded to your code number, and you share with them the same things that you're learning. And this is a business that just keeps on giving. Okay, it's like almost like the Energizer Bunny. It just keeps going and going. And after a while, it'll get so big, you will not be able to control the growth of your business, which is exactly what you want. Okay, and with that being said, it's 11 o'clock, and I want to respect everybody's time. Dwayne, I'm going to turn it back over to you.
Anithia, phenomenal job as always. You just make it seem so simple and so easy. And I'll tell you, and it really is, guys. It's just a matter of the knowledge. I think you can hear the confidence level in her voice as she presents this information. But what she is saying is absolute fact. Every single person that I have spoken to with regards to this living benefit against their plan, nobody has heard of it. And I'm talking about seasoned agents. I'm talking about guys who've been doing life insurance for a living, has not heard of it. So that just let me know that we are truly at the right place and truly at the right time, and we have a product that needs to be out there for families to hear about. So again, those of you thank you for taking the time out. We will be doing this tomorrow, Thursday, and Friday, and then the following Monday. We won't be here the weekend, but we'll be here the following Monday, 5 straight days, teaching you from the very basics. Today was the first day so you understand the product you have.